Welcome back to Season 2, Episode 5 of Community Convener, the official podcast of the Henry County Chamber of Commerce, powered by Georgia Power. I am Joseph Henning, President and CEO of the Chamber, and your host. Today we have a catalytic conversation with Dr. Heather Ross and Deidre Boykins about our latest member-focused program, Thriving Henry Leaders. We'll offer more highlights on our initiatives, and we'll have a conversation with Deputy County Manager Kevin Johnson on SPLOST and community resources. Of course, we'll have member highlights and upcoming events. So grab a coffee and let's dive in. Well, welcome everyone. Today we're diving into a critical component of our organization's quality of life champion pillar, the reality of executive well-being. We know that leadership in Henry County requires grit, but it often carries a heavy silent cost. The sleepless nights, decision fatigue, and the isolation that comes with knowing families rely on your leadership. But for too long, the business world has accepted the idea that it's lonely at the top as just the price of admission. We believe that your well-being is not just a personal matter, it is a foundational asset and a strategic imperative for our community's economic vitality. That is why we are launching Thriving Henry Leaders, a program designed to move beyond networking and give our executives a safe harbor to exchange real insight, build resilience, and develop practical tools for their teams. And none of this would be possible without the generosity of our partners. We are deeply grateful to Kaiser Permanente for their presenting sponsorship and support in developing this program. And we also want to thank Georgia Power for their supporting sponsorship. This has allowed us to be more instrumental in the initiative and making it accessible to all of our business leaders. So to help us preview this launch, I'm joined by two guests, Dr. Heather Ross, MD, MS of Solutionists International Consulting, our program facilitator who brings medical and organizational expertise to help leaders manage the physiological difference between stress and burnout. And also we have Deidre Boykins, who's the managing member of Triple J Global Solutions and a member of our inaugural pilot cohort. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Yeah. Dr. Ross, let's start with the why behind this program. So from your perspective, what are the specific silent costs of leadership that you see Henry County executives carrying today?
The costs are wide-ranging. I think that one of the things is a lot of times we have this idea of acceptable collateral. We think to ourselves, well, that's just the cost, that's just the way it works. But some things are not as silent as we think they are, like the way that we treat the people at home versus the way we treat the people at work, because we train how we treat the people at work.
Right.
We don't train how we treat the people at home. And so we're eroding relationships within our own families. Or say, for example, when you're dealing with your team and instead of thinking about what you say a little bit longer and taking the time to think and say, okay, if I say this way, how are they going to take it? Who am I speaking to? Or when you try to delegate that task to that team member and then you realize like, oh, I should have maybe said that a little differently because I said it the way that I needed to hear it, not the way that person needed to hear it.
Exactly.
And so you have also, too, the physiological changes that you mentioned, like we have the rising blood pressure, the fact that you cannot sleep at night, or maybe you can go to sleep, but you can't stay asleep. Those things are not normal. Just because they are frequent, it does not make them normal. It also can manifest in other ways in your body. Say, for example, it produces an excess of stress hormones where ladies, they talk about us having hormones, but men, I might remind you, you have more hormones than testosterone. Testosterone is not your only hormone. So there are so many different ways that it can manifest in your body and how you are able to think, how you are able to sleep, how you are able to connect with other people, how you are able to connect with your clients.
And you mentioned the stress hormones. So there's a module in there that is the stress versus burnout and the eustress and distress. Why does understanding this impact? Why is that a strategic imperative for business owners and leaders?
For one, you're adults and many of you take medication and you need to know the reason why your medication is not having the desired effect that you want it to have. You also want to think about it's impacting your appetite. It impacts your mood. It impacts how you're able to see the world and see the people around you. When you have a problem, you probably can at times think about it and without proper sleep and without proper all the things, when you look at something that might have been not so big, in your mind, it blew up to this mountain before, without anybody doing anything.
Well, and I think it's, it also reminds you that a lot of times you'll respond in a situation and then a day later or an hour later be like, oh, I wish I'd have I should have, I could have, and so I
Mhm.
think I think from the emotional intelligence side of it, the maturity in that, this helps all of us to be better leaders.
May I insert one other little
Yeah.
thing? It's how you spend your money.
Yeah.
How you spend your money, whether for your business, for your family, for yourself, is greatly impacted by your emotional state.
Hmm.
I mean, look at late night television. It's filled with ads that are playing on the fact that they are hoping
Uh-huh.
you are having
You
emotional
need another one of
challenges.
those items that you just don't need.
But, you have to think about it in terms of not just one aspect of life, but it all is interconnected. And I think that's a huge point, or a very important point that I would like to make, is that whatever is going on internally, it leaks in every
Oh,
way
absolutely.
externally. None of it is disconnected.
Well, and a lot of this is being that supportive bridge, not, as a business owner, as a manager, as a leader, we're to be that connector,
Mm.
but not the therapist. And we need to know the difference, because would you say that those of us that are untrained in therapy, that are trying to solve that person's problems, we're only making it worse? I mean, we're condoning it, we're endorsing it, we're enabling it. And really, we need to figure out as leaders how it is that we take care of these employees and these team members.
Yes. I want to give an example. So just the other day, I was talking with a leader and I asked him a question. I said, when you think about your health, just you, not your business, none of that, just you, how healthy are you when you compare like the optimal health you versus who you are today? What is the distance between the two? And he thought for a minute. And then he says, I exercise, I eat right, or try to eat pretty healthy. Gave me a couple of other examples of ways in which he tries to positively impact his own personal health, which are very good. And then I started asking more questions. I said, how are you sleeping? How's your appetite? Just because he had told me that he ate like 6 meals a day. And I was like, okay, that's smart because it keeps your blood sugar level. And then I asked a few more questions and he says, oh, I said, yeah, that number is plummeting, right? Because you told me 95% or 90% and it's going downhill fast. And he was like, oh gosh, yeah, now that you put it in those terms,
Mhm.
it is self-awareness is where it starts, is really understanding what health really looks like. A lot of us don't understand what health looks like. We assume that because things are frequent, like everybody has high blood pressure at certain ages, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
normal.
yeah.
No, it's not. Frequency does not determine what is normal. Just because everyone has it, it doesn't mean that it's right for everyone to
Right.
have it.
Yeah.
And it's not helping them any. It's not improving their health. It's not something that you just shouldn't worry about it. Just take the medication. You'll be fine. It's like, no, one of our objectives has to be stopping to take medication if we don't have to. Like if you
Right.
can make the lifestyle change, make the lifestyle change.
Yeah. Well, and I think, I was reading something yesterday, the day before. A lot of, 70% or so of Americans all have some kind of stress or emotional disconnect, and I'm sure the number's even higher. It's just who's going to be honest. But a lot of this stems from the pandemic and the way life was just completely upended in a day. And the fact that with that, and now even today, there's no predictability. We've used all of our adaptability change during COVID. And now we want it back to being the way it was, or the way that it should be normal, or something that we can expect and prepare for. And it's just not that way. And I think that when we look at it as trying to control everything in our lives, we start with that business and then we go to our family. And then, 3 or 4 steps down the ladder, we look at ourselves. And so part of this program is how do we address that as individuals, and how do we take care of ourselves? Because without that, it's not helping the business financially, emotionally, all of the resources that we put into it. We talk about confidentially, professionally facilitated. Thank you for that. We're looking at the peer advisory experience. How do you cultivate that space where high-level executives feel comfortable having high-stakes conversations? Those that are listening, that are like, oh, I love what they're saying, but I don't know how this is confidential. How do you address that?
For one, when you sign up for the program, you agree to our terms and conditions. So that means that
A little
you
bit of
have
control.
you have a lot to lose too. Because for one, I am a person who loves to be very personable. As a physician, that patient physician contact is something that I'm trained in. I am not in a rush. So this program is not going to be, we just have to stay on schedule.
Mm-hmm.
No, sometimes we may have to just stay on one question for the entire session. That's okay.
Yeah.
If it is, as they say, vibing with the whole group,
Yeah.
we may end up in one, possibly two questions for a whole session. There is no, thankfully, our sponsors and the leadership have not pushed me to have to meet a certain objective. We are not you're not a research study. You're not being tested on anything. There is no exam at the end. Yes, we may give you a certificate at the end, but there is no exam at the end, okay? We are not recording anything.
Correct.
And I am making sure that everyone else understands that there is to be no recording. If you happen to meet virtually, there will be no AI note takers allowed. There will be just ways in which we have the conversation. I typically can connect with people pretty well, so I'm going to use my own personality and ability to connect with professionals, but also encourage everyone else to feel free to say what's really on their mind, because it's a no judgment zone. There is no wrong answer to whatever it is that you're thinking or feeling. Because what might upset me may not upset you, but what might upset someone else, you may, oh man, I never thought about it that way.
Right.
So it's an opportunity also too for you to grow your perspective and hear from other professionals how they're handling things. Something that has been driving you crazy for years or months, you may learn from listening to someone else's response, like, oh, I never even thought to look at it that way.
Right.
Because a lot of times it's not a big, huge change that needs to happen. It is little stuff.
Little shift.
Little bitty things that can tweak a thought, that can help you to see something more clearly, that can help you to realize, like, you know what, I'm not as far behind as I thought I was. I'm not as big of a failure as something internally has been telling me. I am just a professional who is navigating some challenging situations. And it is about navigating, not about being perfect, not about being right all the time, because we try to be right. Don't get me wrong. But we can't always be right, but we can try our best to do our best. And at the end of the day, that's all that anyone can ask.
Yeah.
And that is the reason why we have teams.
Absolutely. Deidre, you're no stranger to our programs, and I appreciate that. You've been involved in the Kaiser Permanente mentorship program as well. From your perspective, how does having access to these types of specialized well-being focused programs add value to your membership and to your development as a local leader?
Good question. Well, you're right. I am no stranger to programs, and I love the chamber and the different programs that we offer here. For this program in particular, I want to be a part of it is because it focuses mostly on mental health, and in leadership, it's often that we can overlook ourselves by leading and pouring into our teams, maybe even our family, and often neglecting ourselves. And so when I saw that this was available to focus on the mental side, I knew that it's something that I wanted to take advantage of, because I truly believe that if we as leaders can focus on our mental capacity, we can then provide a better leadership to our team, and it just trickle down.
Yeah, that's what Heather and I are calling the put your own mask on first. Yep. Absolutely. And congratulations, because Triple J Global Solutions is expanding quickly.
Yeah.
And congratulations on that.
Thank
That is
you.
absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
As you prepare to be a part of this initial cohort, what specific leadership habits are you most looking forward to strengthening to handle that career growth or that business growth?
Well, I'm hoping to gain a new perspective and practical tools, a sense of community with other leaders who understand the weight of running an organization. I would love a space where we can grow and ask questions, learn in healthier ways to manage conflict and communication. So being a part of a group that approaches topics with confidentiality, thank you for that, and mutual respect for others, so that we all can be grounded and become effective leaders.
Wonderful. Well, I appreciate that. A couple questions left, I think, for you, Heather, in particular. But what would be your final offer to those listening today about this program? What is your last takeaway for them?
Come and be strengthened. It's not about what's broken. It is not about waiting until you see the signs of the mental stress,
Yeah.
the hair falling out, the digestive
The
issues.
straitjacket.
Yeah, that either. We don't want to wait for those things. We want to strengthen you now, where you are, in whatever situation you're in. It's not about being perfect. It is not about always having the right answer. It is really about awareness and making sure that we are surrounding ourselves and putting people in our circle who can help us. Your cohort or your small group may not be people that you want to see every week or every day, but you will have that sense of psychological safety with that group. When you all get together, it's closed, it's just you, and you can talk about whatever, and everyone can bring that thing to the table that they need in order to make them, because everyone deserves, I don't care if you lead or not, you deserve to be seen, to be heard, to be understood, and to belong.
Absolutely. And I think when you said we're not there to fix broken,
No.
Like everything else in our lives, it's a heck of a lot easier to take it and make sure that it stays safe and make it stronger before it breaks. Because when it's broken, you lose pieces. It's harder to put back together, and it's never going to be the same.
I believe it was Frederick Douglass who said, "It is easier to build strong children than repair broken men." I know we're not children, but it is easier to build strong minds than it is to repair it once it's broken and repair the damage that comes with it.
Absolutely. And that brings me to another point than broken men. What is your message to the men out there listening to the podcast today and the opportunity to participate in this Thriving Henry Leaders program? What's your message to them?
I am very conscious of the fact that a lot of times men feel like in order to be the man, you have to be the strong person who is the silent, strong type. Yeah, that doesn't work. And it's been proven time and time and time and time again. It is more important that you come and receive what you need and take the opportunity. Remember, this is an opportunity. This opportunity does not come around all the time. If you didn't hear the word inaugural, this is the very first program of its type. This isn't something that's happening everywhere all the time. You will not get this everywhere. The materials that we are using are top-notch materials produced by the team at Kaiser Permanente. I am the facilitator, and please do not take it as a bad thing for there to be a female facilitator. I have no issues with men expressing themselves. We are more than happy to have you. We are hoping to have at least 50% male population within the cohort because it's important. Every voice needs to be heard. There is not just room for women or for one gender or the other gender. Everybody is welcome, independent of your race, your ethnicity, your religion. This is not about that. Right. This is all about strengthening mental health.
Right.
Yes.
I think, you made a great point, too, that I have not stressed enough, and that is that this is a unique program. It is designed for business leaders. It is built around Kaiser Permanente's work and research, and the fact that it is business leader focused is unique in itself. Don't know where you're going to find it again. As far as we've been able to determine, we're the only chamber in Georgia, at least on the East Coast, but probably the U.S. that has any program like this. So there's no excuse. Don't wait around for it because we're...
Absolutely.
Any other closing thoughts, Deidre?
Well, I just thank the Chamber for this type of program. I think that it is very much needed for all of our leaders. And so if we have some leaders out there, please take advantage of it. Mental health is very important, and it makes you a better, effective leader.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Ladies, thank you. Before we wrap up, I just want to share a couple of logistics for this upcoming cohort with our listeners. It's 12 weeks, 6 modules. It's an in-person module 1 week. The next week, it's the small cohort, however they determine works for them, whether it's virtual or in person. We're launching it this spring. It's specifically for CEOs, business owners, C-suite executives, upper management. Again, I want to stress the confidentiality, the small non-compete circles to ensure safe environment. We're only offering this for 30 leaders. That's the initial cohort because we're going to build the scale, but we got to start small. So we're going to start with 30. And because of the generous support that we received from Kaiser Permanente and from Georgia Power, as we mentioned earlier, the enrollment cost is just $100 per person. That's $100, 12 weeks, 6 modules, physician-led. You're not going to find that anywhere else.
Absolutely not.
So if you're tired of carrying the weight alone, I invite you to visit henrycounty.com and apply today. Let's prove that in Henry County, we don't just build better businesses, we build better lives for the people who run them. And we'll be right back. This episode's Elite Spotlight is Champion Circle member Ameris Bank. Growing your savings, growing your business, they're with you all the way. Ameris was established in 1971 to bring financial peace of mind to their customers and communities. Today, they are a financial partner to businesses and consumers at 200-plus locations across the Southeast and Mid-Atlantic, and nationwide through their digital banking and online lending options. At Ameris, their purpose is to bring financial peace of mind to customers and communities, to help build and protect your future, and to turn visions into reality. No matter where you are on your financial journey, they're with you. We thank Ameris Bank for their longstanding support of the Henry County Chamber and its programs. Welcome back to the Community Convener. Today's initiative highlights will focus on the strategic shifts and high-impact programs shaping our local economy as we move through the first quarter of 2026. From global sports readiness to a new personal board of directors for our solopreneurs, there's a lot to cover in this 5-minute highlight. Let's dive in. The 8th Annual Women's Empowerment Summit themed Power in Progress, Women Leading What's Next is just around the corner. Doors open at 8 a.m. on March 5th for breakfast and the Empower Her Expo. The day features morning and afternoon keynotes, a power panel, and the presentation of 2 $1,000 scholarships to local young women. The expo remains open until 2:30 p.m. to provide maximum visibility for our women-owned businesses. The National Civics Bee is a nonpartisan competition for 6th through 8th graders designed to build trust in American democracy. Students start with an essay round, move to a live local bee in March, the state finals in the summer, and the national championship in D.C. every November. Join us for the live local National Civics Bee on March 28th at the McDonough PAC. With the World Cup bringing global attention to our region, Visit Henry, Visit McDonough, and See Clayton are launching a critical training initiative. A 60-minute online session on Tuesday, March 10th at 1 is mastering international communication styles, tipping norms, and dietary sensitivities to ensure our local hospitality sector is ready to welcome the world. Launched this week, the Core Collective is a centerpiece of the Chamber's new Henry Hub for solopreneurs and gig workers. Small, curated groups of 8 to 10 members who act as a personal board of directors to combat professional isolation. Groups meet monthly for 90 minutes using a hot seat protocol to receive radical candor and actionable advice. We are forming the first 5 groups now, with total participation capped at 50 people. As we navigate Q1, the local economic vibe is defined by a low-hire, low-fire environment where labor costs remain high. Growth is no longer about expanding headcount, it's about upskilling current teams and integrating AI tools. Protecting margins now requires value-based pricing and leveraging local supply chains to reduce risk. From preparing for global visitors to reimagining how we support our smaller businesses, Henry County is leaning into the efficiency economy with intention. For full details on the Core Collective applications or the Women's Empowerment Summit, visit the Chamber's blog. Thanks for listening to this week's initiative highlight.
Hey guys, Morel McClear here with Ramtech PC Solutions. We provide IT solutions for businesses that need our services. We focus on IT help desk, cybersecurity, and IT compliance. If you guys ever need assistance or ever have a wonder of if I'm doing my IT right, is my IT guy doing what he's supposed to do, give us a call. Let us help you with that.
Well, welcome back. This episode's SPLOST conversation is a little bit different. I know we've heard from Kevin a couple months ago, but Kevin, welcome back. Usually we talk about SPLOST and T-SPLOST, and I know we've got some good stuff coming up in a couple of months, but what can we talk about today?
So I think it'd be great to dive into a community resource discussion. And I can tell you the connection to SPLOST is that on SPLOST 6, on that referendum, there was a community resource center that was approved. And then $2 million have been allocated towards the establishment of that community resource center.
Well, I think that's great because we often talk about the projects that are happening, and I like the fact that this ties into the community feedback that you all receive. So let's talk about the Resource Center. Absolutely.
So before we can talk about the Resource Center, we have to dive into what community resources is.
Okay.
probably 2 years ago, I got called into the county manager's office and she said, "Hey, Kevin, we have an issue that we need to address as a community. And that issue is our rapid growth of our homeless population. How are we getting connected with these individuals? How do we get resources to these individuals so that they can grow and be in a better place?" So under emergency management at the time, we started a community resource unit. And our goal was to be that single point of entry for any family, any individual that is in need. So we would act as that one-stop shop. You can call us, email us, and we will connect you to the amazing nonprofits or faith-based organizations, whatever that resource is that you need. We would be that connecting piece. Since then, they have grown so much. They have removed from EMA, and they're now the standalone community resource department for Henry County. They have an open office space to the public. It's actually located at 110 South Zach Hinton Parkway, right in between the police headquarters and the fire headquarters.
Okay.
Yep. So Amanda Reeves, and our community knows Amanda. She's been around for a long time. She was previously the executive director at the Hands of Hope Clinic.
Right.
So we got really lucky and we talked her into coming and taking the lead on this. So she built this from the ground up and she has been serving this community nonstop. We have resources for whatever the need is: emergency sheltering, food insecurity, clothing, mental health support, elder care, child care, job training, veteran support. Whatever that resource is, whatever that topic is, she has a relationship where she can pass off an individual that's in need to a nonprofit or a faith-based organization, somebody that can help that individual in that space.
That's great. That's great. And again, that's 110 South Zach Hinton. That's is it an old store? A former
Used
store?
to be an old Winn-Dixie there. Yeah.
Okay.
County
All right.
bought
Yeah.
that, turned it into police headquarters, and it's been growing ever since.
Yeah. And it's got plenty of ample parking. If anybody needs assistance there, they can get that. So tell us, if you would, how is that looking? How is that doing, that community resource center in that?
So it's really gained some traction in the last month or so. I can tell you that the county has identified property, identified a facility, and we'll be making announcements within the month as to what that location is. The framework for this, so we started with establishing the department. We made the relationships. We have all the information on the county website. They just launched an app. It's called Henry Helps. If you look that up in the App Store, then you'll be able to access all of those resources. But the vision for this community resource center is you can show up there and every resource that you could think of will be available. So it's not only going to house our community resource department, but it's going to house all of our big partners, that Red Cross, United Way, Salvation Army, Hands of Hope Clinic. We'd love to have medical work done there. So whatever that need is for a family, they can come in. They don't have to go to 15 different places. We're bringing everything together. It's going to be the one-stop shop for whatever the needs are for the community at a singular location.
That's amazing. That's great. Then, and you said that you've identified a building. I don't want to get into the details too much of that, but what will that look like then when you take that over and launch? Is that going to be just the resources again, or is there more to it?
Yeah, so it's going to be the house for all of the available nonprofits. It's going to be coordinated by Amanda Reeves and her team. But essentially, picture it as a mall, right? You go into a mall and you have all of these different storefronts. That's kind of our vision. You walk into this facility and you have all of these different storefronts, but the storefronts are the nonprofits that are assisting with specific resources. So there may be a community pantry, like a grocery store built out into this location for families that are in need. Big community closet where there's donated clothing and hygiene products, right? So if you're someone that needs new school clothes and you're not in a position to fund that yourself, then you could go here and you could receive those clothes.
That's amazing, Kevin. That's such a great response for the community. And I think, we often hear about the difficulties in that space, but I think this is a positive, proactive response. So thank you.
One more thing.
Yeah.
Another initiative. So we started working with the hospital and they were talking about the issues with their emergency room bed space. And then we started correlating that to our ambulance transports and our 911 calls. And we were finding that a large majority of our reoccurring transportations, our patients, our ER beds that are being taken up are easily mitigated issues. But it's the lack of availability of citizens to get to a primary care physician, right? To get that prescription, to maintain their health. So what Amanda Reeves has done and the Community Resource Department, they utilized opioid remediation funds. So at no cost to taxpayers, no cost to the county, they purchased a trailer that is built out with 2 medical exam rooms in it. They have partnered with Piedmont Henry Hospital and the Hands of Hope Clinic, and they're going to be on site weekly throughout the county, going into the communities, providing free medical care, free treatment, free prescriptions, free long-term care for anyone. You show up, you get treated, you get a prescription, and it's completely free. And their goal is to return to that location every 4 weeks. So if you don't have transportation or communication, you can show up at the same place that your first visit was 4 weeks later and get your lab results completely free from Piedmont Henry, get your prescription refilled, and get that follow-up care. So super excited about launching that.
That is amazing. Congratulations on that. I guess it's a good thing we got you today because this is some really interesting items for people to know. I appreciate it. Real quick, so when she launches the mobile exam, where will people find that information on the locations and days and that? Where can they find
great question. So a couple easy ways, right? One is the county website.
Mm-hmm.
Community Resources has their own page there. You can find the information that's listed. I already mentioned that app, Henry Helps. It'll be posted there. But once those dates are solidified, and we're talking hopefully within probably starting in March, what we're projecting as a launch date, we're going to be making a huge media blast. So reach out to you to help share.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
We will be sharing that all over social media, all over the Henry TV, all over everywhere. So
that sounds great. People need to go to henrycountyga.gov, right? Yeah.
That's right.
.gov and search community resources, and then they'll get all this information onto the App Store, whether it's the Google or the Apple App Store. You can get the Henry Helps app. And currently, if people are needing assistance, the Resource Center is at 110 South Zach Hinton.
Yes, 110 South Zach Hinton Parkway. And not only those that need assistance, if you are a member of a church or if you are a business owner and you want to be someone that assists, you can get on our webpage. You can get on that app. You can be a resource for the community.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, we get a ton of donations, a ton of food drives, clothing drives. Piedmont Henry Hospital actually just did a food drive for this department 2 weeks ago and dropped the stuff off last week. So we're always welcoming our community partners to come in and join on the work that's being done.
All right. Well, that's great. So again, henrycountyga.gov, and you can get your information there. Kevin, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate the update. This is some great stuff.
Hey, we're full of fun stuff in Henry County, Joe.
That's right. That's right. All right. Thank you, Kevin. We'll be right back. Welcome to this episode's Member Minute, where we highlight exciting news, milestones, and upcoming ribbon cuttings across our chamber community. Congratulations to Brandon Hutchison with Echo Park Speedway, who was recently installed as 2026 chair of the Chamber Board. At that same event, Delta Community Credit Union was recognized as Business of the Year. JM Consultant and Judy McMurtry were recognized with Micro Business Excellence Award. Daddy Everyday was named the Nonprofit of the Year. Shanna Amoa and Cornelius Gamble were recognized as Volunteers of the Year. Dr. Gabrielle Williams was named Emerging Business Leader. Finally, the Billy Carter Community Service Award was presented to former Stockbridge Mayor Anthony Ford. Commissioners honor Unity Grove Rosenwald School, the only surviving Rosenwald School building in Henry County, with a proclamation honoring the school as a treasured historic landmark. The Henry County Arts and Cultural Alliance continues to preserve and rehabilitate the school into a museum and community resource. Celebrate with us at our upcoming ribbon cuttings, March 2nd at 1:30 p.m. for Longhorn Steakhouse in Locust Grove, March 3rd at 10 a.m. for Insurance Office of America, March 4th at 11 a.m. for Fat and Trina's Bargain Depot, and March 11th at 11 a.m. for Lennar Homes. Interested in learning more about our members? Check out our member news section on our website.
Hey guys, I'm Morel McCreary with Ramtech PC Solutions. Have you ever wondered if your business is compliant? Have you ever wondered if your current IT guy is doing what he says he's going to do for your business? If you have questions like that, don't hesitate. Please call me at 678-999-2172, and we can check and make sure that you have the support, compliance, and cybersecurity that you need.
Now for our upcoming events. We have a busy couple of weeks of programs to support the Henry County business community, planned and designed with you in mind. Join us March 5th at 8 a.m. for the 8th Annual Women's Empowerment Summit. This is where momentum meets meaning as the Chamber's Women's Leadership Council kicks off Women's Month with a can't-miss summit focusing on power and progress, women leading what's next, from influence to impact. Don't miss the chance to hear from dynamic keynote speakers, an accomplished power panel, and for the chance to support locally women-owned businesses through our Empower Her Expo. Tickets are on sale now. Don't miss this chance to honor progress while actively shaping the future. Skills Showcase, cell phone content creation that drives results, returns on March 10th at 8 a.m. in the Business Resource Center at Henry County Chamber of Commerce. Join us as Breon Thomas, owner of Synergy Studios, teaches business owners how to turn their smartphones into a consistent marketing engine. This session focuses on removing overwhelm and maximizing time. Interested in teaching at a showcase in the future? Join us to learn more. Immediately following our Skills Showcase on March 10th at 9 a.m., join the Henry Business Builders, a networking community of small business owners and solopreneurs focused on growth and intentional referrals. On March 12th at 9 a.m., Microbusiness Excellence Award winner Judy McMurtry, keynote speaker and founder of JM Excel Consultant, presents From to Unstoppable, public speaking that moves people to action. Learn practical techniques to reduce filler words, how to deliver your message in a supportive setting, and receive tools you can immediately apply in real-world settings. Also on March 10th at 10 a.m., we feature the monthly Bridge Henry County Connect. Each month, the Chamber partners with the Better Business Bureau to bring top-tier business experts directly to you. No panels, no workshops, just a real conversation with professionals who are ready to help you solve the problem standing in your way. Come when you can, stay as long as you like, leave with answers that matter. And it all comes down to March 13th at 6:30 p.m. For several months, Henry County High School students have been fine-tuning their pitches and building their businesses for the Flex Round 3 live finals. Join us as our top 3 student businesses compete live for a chance at $5,000 and the opportunity to represent Henry County at the Flex State Finals. These student entrepreneurs will pitch their original business ideas before a panel of judges and the community. Don't miss this exciting night of networking, competition, and a peek into the future of our local business community. For more Chamber events and information on how to register, visit the Chamber calendar on our website. If you are interested in discussing membership benefits or sponsorship opportunities, please connect with our team at 770-957-5786 or at henrycounty.com. We'll return in 2 weeks with another community dialogue, insights from Visit Henry, and more Henry County news and updates. Be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and follow the Henry County Chamber of Commerce on social media for updates and upcoming events. Until next time, stay connected, stay inspired, and keep growing with us at the Henry County Chamber.